Hi, I'm Kara Henshaw from Key Associates doing another episode of State Differences because we got a lot of people that really liked our California one. So I have Nancy and Bob Schwab from Illinois that moved here recently to Indiana, correct?
That's correct.
And where are you from in Illinois?
So we came from northern Illinois, just outside of Chicago, in a suburb called Joliet.
I do know where that's at.
Super cold. In fact, right now they're probably hip deep in snow and
Really?
maybe if they're lucky, 15 degrees if they're lucky.
I think windy and cold when I think up there.
It is.
It's. I mean, I remember going to Chicago and it just being the brisk wind was so cold.
It is cold.
It does get cold.
We're in heaven down here. We're like, we've only put on our winter coats 3 times.
Really?
Yeah.
So like, and it's not even cold to you. Like you're like, oh, this is nothing.
What is, well, today is warm.
You're gonna
Today
get in
is
your
like
shorts
45.
soon.
Yep, I'm ready. Flip-flops.
The funniest thing is when we moved in the house, we have a 3-stage snowblower
Okay.
that we brought.
Oh, seriously? You're like, what do we do with
And the
this?
movers were like, don't even put this in the garage. You don't need it. So and we don't. If
So
we have
how
it,
long? You
so.
guys have been here how long? About
We
a
moved
year?
here in June.
June. So
of
coming up about 9
2021.
months to
Yep.
10 months, something like that. So this is your first winter.
This is
Yeah.
the first one.
And this is probably one of the, not worst, but I mean, we've had
That's
a lot
what
of snow and
everybody's
ice.
saying.
It's
They're
not
like-
really a
Yeah.
normal winter.
Yeah.
Well, I count
And we love it.
3 dustings.
So from one comparison right there from near
Yep.
Chicago area is weather.
Is weather.
So if you're looking to
Definitely.
get more, weather that's just a little bit calmer and not so cold. I mean, we still have cold, but it's
Yeah,
doable, right?
It's not bitter cold. It's just,
Not consecutively either.
and not, yeah.
So,
If it gets cold, then it's warm again. We wanted the 4 seasons, Kara. So first we thought Florida. Florida, and then we're like, I don't think we would like not having 4 seasons.
Yeah.
So then we
But
expanded.
because you have it now, and I mean,
have it now.
Chicago is honestly, that whole area is beautiful in the summer. It really
It
is.
is gorgeous.
It
It's
is.
gorgeous. But it seems just like this because we have the high humidity in northern Illinois, just like down here. So
So really the 4 seasons is not at all different,
no,
except
winter.
colder.
Winter, yeah, up there.
Yeah.
much colder.
Okay.
Much colder and
Yeah.
longer. Winter your first snowfall can be Halloween.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
So you were looking at Florida, what diverted you to Indiana
It's so
back,
funny.
or at least
We-
even where, maybe Nashville, I don't know where you were looking,
Yeah,
but
we knew we were going to move, so we both.
hurricanes.
Yeah, hurricanes kept us out of Florida, to be honest.
and not tornadoes don't scare you because you're used to them.
Yeah.
Well, Nancy,
We
to
We do
your
have
upbringing.
tornadoes.
Yeah.
I don't know, how does Chicago have a lot of tornadoes?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I
Oh, yeah.
guess, I'm assuming, but don't
Tornado
live up there.
Alley. It was called
So
Tornado.
we're the same. I mean, we don't get
Yeah.
them right through here,
We
but we do
were-
get them in the area.
We were in some bad ones, really
Yeah,
bad.
Really?
bad ones.
Oh, yeah.
kept-
In 1992, we had one that killed 28 people in the subdivision that I worked in. And it was
Yeah.
just
How long did you
horrible.
live in Chicago area?
All my life, I lived in Joliet. And then
Okay.
Nancy,
And I was a Mississippi girl. I grew
Oh,
up on
that's why you were a Southern girl. You had to get, this is like middle road here for you.
So
and that's why she's no one near
yeah, no,
hurricanes.
I don't want a hurricane. Grew up. My elementary school was on the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
Oh, very well. I love
Yeah.
that area too.
Me too.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
mean,
fun.
you can visit. It's not that far away from here. That's
Yeah.
the beauty of it. What is it? 7-8 hours? It's not that bad.
I think we looked at
Yeah, and that was one of
because
the
I go to
reasons.
Biloxi, so I
Yeah.
know we have.
Yeah, your proximity to everything being here, you are almost 6 hours to 8 hours away from everything. You know,
Yeah.
Nashville, Cincinnati, St. Louis, and we were looking, we're thinking, wow, you know, that's pretty neat.
They
Yeah.
call it a one tank feel. Like you can
Yeah.
you can fill your tank and you can get to
Well, that's really
St.
neat.
Louis, you can get
Yeah.
to Nashville, you can get to Cincinnati, you can get to Indianapolis, you can get anywhere. So
We're looking forward to exploring for that reason.
yeah, it's actually
So,
very central here where we're at in southern Indiana.
It is, Kara, and the fact that we can zip over to Evansville or down to Owensboro or even out to Louisville.
Yeah, everything's very close.
There's no traffic.
Yeah, there's no traffic. that's what the California people said.
Oh my gosh, there is no traffic at all. So where we might be going 35 miles, that would take you hours.
And really,
In
the
the
only
burbs.
traffic that I ever feel like I run into in southern Indiana, really, is maybe Louisville rush hour. You do
Yeah.
hit it if you're going 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whatever, rush hour traffic.
Yeah.
Downtown Louisville, you're going to get it.
And it's a big
Yeah.
city, so
Yeah.
that's why.
But nowhere else. I mean, even like Evansville ones, but they're all very, like, that's nothing
Yeah.
compared to what
yeah.
you guys are probably used to.
Well, and the friendliness helps too. You know,
Yes.
you get
Yeah.
angry
You don't
at
get
people on
mean
the highway.
drivers.
It's different, so.
You
Yeah,
got mean
so-
drivers up there?
Oh, you
Yeah,
could
mean
have them. You
drivers.
can have them.
They road rage or something?
Oh yeah, all the time. I mean, you hear it on the news every night.
We might have been
it's
mean
pretty
drivers
bad.
at time. You learn to
Yeah,
zip in and
yeah,
out of
well,
traffic,
you,
which
you
is
get
rude.
you get kind of bad.
funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's another difference that you feel like in your 9 months that you have discovered?
Well, when we came here, we had gone up to Door County, Wisconsin, which is the thumb part of Wisconsin, because we'd always vacationed there, and we thought, well, if we're going to retire, let's retire on Lake Michigan. And then we thought, snow up to here.
Yeah, they do. They never
bitter
get over
cold.
it.
So we got over that fast, but we
great
wanted
in summer.
vacation. Great
Yeah,
in
it's
summer.
there till May, end of May.
And we're big boaters, so
So-
we enjoy being on the water,
Yeah.
as much as we can. So we drew a map and we found Patoka Lake.
Oh, I love Patoka Lake. And honestly, if you're watching this and never been, I mean, Southern Indiana has Patoka
Gorgeous
Lake, everybody,
water.
it's gorgeous water. Everybody can use it. It is a reservoir. You can't live on it.
Right.
But
Yeah,
Evansville to Louisville, even Indianapolis, people flock to Patoka Lake and they love it.
And it's
Yeah.
So that's
it was
a great thing for
gorgeous.
Southern Indiana.
It is, and your little lakes all
Yeah.
around here are
Yeah.
just, besides our neighborhood,
Yeah.
are just gorgeous.
That's what got
So
us to look, come down
That's what made
here.
us start
Yeah.
looking, was we were like, oh my gosh, look at this gorgeous water.
Well, and what I also love is all the national parks. I mean, the national
Yes.
forest. People,
Yeah.
Perry County is like this hidden gem. People don't realize what they
Yeah.
have for just like if you like that outdoors environment.
That Hoosier Forest is
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just gorgeous. We were shocked.
Crawford County, I guess it's both of those counties.
Yeah. And we're flatlands. I mean, we literally are home.
Straight.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when we saw
The rolling
here-
hills.
Well-
There's a difference then.
There's a
We
huge
have rolling hills and rock cliffs and
It's
Well, it's
just
true.
beautiful
amazing.
trees.
The
Yes.
trees, the hardwoods are amazing.
Yeah.
Because we pay big bucks to have a tree planted in our cornfield lots.
Yeah.
And here, our whole lot was wooded for
Yeah.
us
Yeah.
by nature.
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Actually, I take that for granted.
Yeah.
Well, and working for a builder for 32 years and building all these houses in cornfields, you didn't have one single tree. You put the trees in.
Yeah.
You didn't have anything like that. Well, this particular lot was full of trees.
Yeah.
I couldn't picture what was going to happen.
You're like, I can't take
I'm like,
the trees down.
Yeah, we had
Those are
trees. We had
expensive.
trees, and you gotta take them out. And but
cute.
it ended up being a really beautiful lot. So
So what's the cost of living difference like to you guys?
Gosh, Kara. That was what made us decide we needed to move out of Illinois
Period.
when we
Yeah.
retired. So, the search
So you had
was-
just retired is why you were
Just
leaving. Okay.
retired.
That makes sense.
And so we had friends that used to live in Indiana. They're like, no, you've got to pay state income tax. And we're like, oh, bummer, you have to pay state, because in Illinois you don't once you're
Yeah.
retired. And then when we saw what the property,
yeah,
what we could get property for, the property taxes, we kept telling Lisa.
So you don't pay the income tax, but you do pay property tax still in Illinois.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
That is a
yeah.
difference compared to
Yeah.
other
yeah.
areas.
Well, here the property tax is that much lower that you don't
It
feel
doesn't really matter.
Doesn't
And
even
in
count as a
Chicago,
property tax.
$270,000 house, our tax bill is around $9,800.
Oh,
And
wow.
down here, you're talking what,
2,000
18
max.
to 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a big chunk, and then healthcare, and that's what I'm delighted over
Yeah.
because I have some issues with various joints in my body, and
So healthcare, is it because the
huge.
insurance is different?
yes, Nancy,
Wow.
Nancy alone, her insurance is around $4,000 less a year, and
Just,
For
I
my
mean,
health-
literally,
just by moving across the
Just
state
by moving
line.
across state
I
line.
didn't even
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
Like,
Way
I didn't
cheaper.
think they could change it that much.
Neither did we.
And we didn't
Had no
either.
idea.
Car insurance. I mean, almost everything's
Everything,
cheaper.
name it. The
Well-
electricity's probably the same.
Yeah,
we've
that's-
discovered,
yeah.
but that's common.
Yeah.
But we have all these wonderful hospitals back in Joliet, in the Chicago area, of course. And we're finding that your hospitals here are just as wonderful, and I've been to all of them. I mean, I've got knees. I got knees and shoulder joints,
I love
and
this because the California couple said the same thing, and they
Well-
were coming from LA, and I'm like shocked to hear that you're coming from the Chicago area.
I've been to Owensboro Health. I've been to Huntingburg Clinic. I've been to my favorite, my all-time favorite. It's in Evansville. It's what the orthopedic,
Tri-State.
Oh, yeah,
Tri-State
they're good.
orthopedic. So I'm well taken care of. And that was an issue because I didn't know coming out here that.
Yeah.
Well, especially we got out here in an open field somewhere. I was like, wonder where all the hospitals.
Yeah.
And you're close enough.
And
Yeah.
it's different,
You know.
Kara, because the doctors are rushed in Chicago because
Yeah, you
there's
get 10 minutes and you're
hundreds and
gone.
hundreds of patients going through in a day. So they'll do, God bless them, but they'll be like blah blah blah, but The
They don't take the time to
family
really.
prac here that we met and
Yeah.
his nurses have been we just thought we'll get established whether we need it or not. Oh my goodness.
I actually love
Yes.
this because I like I said, this is new to me, and I've learned something just by the interviews
Yeah.
that I didn't realize we were so spoiled, I guess, from a healthcare standpoint.
Yeah.
And honestly, some people always look at it as a negative when they're moving here because they think we're so far away, just different, unless you're right in Evansville or if you're
Right.
right in Louisville or right in Owensboro.
Yeah.
You know, the 20-minute drive outside of these cities, you know, people were worried about that. I'm like, but if you're in Juliet, it probably takes you 30 minutes, even though you're
does.
closer.
It does.
Being by those
Yeah.
hospitals.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's not really
Yeah.
that different.
It's not different at all.
Oh, to go across town, it used to be almost a half hour, and it was 9 miles.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're in
That's
Owensboro
actually-
in less than 20 minutes from here.
Yeah.
You
When
know,
we met
so-
your realtors, when we came here on vacation to look at Patoka Lake, and we thought we were going to buy a cottage on the lake, then we found out it was an Army Corps lake and you couldn't. So we met your realtors
Yeah.
from your office, and they spent the whole day with us, and that was it. We were in love, and I said,
Good job, realtors. Sold.
we said, cancel the trip to Florida, cancel the trip
Well,
to
I'm
Tennessee.
glad you decided to make it Southern
Yeah.
Indiana your
She
home,
had talked to
so-
realtors from both places
Yeah,
and
we had lined it
actually
all
took
up.
a
Oh,
free
from all the
week.
different from Florida in here.
We had
Got
a
it.
free week booked in Florida.
Yeah.
And well, she canceled
Sorry,
it. She
Florida
said,
realtors.
that's it. Yeah, but that, you know, that's how much we've thought, well,
People
maybe
were
it's a good spot,
just- And our
so.
neighbors.
yeah,
Our
they're wonderful.
neighbors we have wonderful neighbors in Joliet
Yeah.
too, of course. But here it's a little different. They
Friendlier.
very
Yeah.
friendly and open. We spent, weren't able to get to our son at Christmas, and we spent Christmas with neighbors.
Aw, that's fun.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
nice. We had a good
Well,
time.
you know, it's interesting you say that. I lived in North Carolina for 10 years. I don't know if you knew that.
No.
And not that I didn't know my neighbors. I knew them. They were nice. Nobody like came out, hung out in the backyards. It was
Yep.
the strangest thing
Yeah.
that I've ever seen. And I grew up here in this area.
Right.
So to me, I'm like, oh, no, it's not the same. So I get that.
Yeah.
Not to
And
say
we-
that they're not nice, but.
No, they were
yeah.
very nice, but they're just outgoing here. And we'll sit on the front porch in the evening, and the neighbor kids will come over, their parents will come over. And it's just, and that's how we've met people. It's just sitting on the front porch. And
Yeah, we knew the whole
They're
neighborhood.
front
right
porch
away.
rockers. If you want another shot,
Yeah.
just come over to the
Yeah.
front porch.
So much fun. And then I volunteered at a couple of children events here in the village, and the kids are amazing. And being an ex-educator.
So, well, you
know,
were
I
in
look at it.
teaching, really, right?
I was.
Oh,
I was
that's
in
good to know.
administration, so the kids are just,
That's good to hear too.
which means it's nice families.
yeah,
Right.
and you're
Tells
obviously
you.
you don't know the schools locally because you don't
No,
have
they
kids
were
there, so you
very,
don't.
very
You're just
polite.
looking at the product of what's
Looking
coming
the
at
product.
it. The kids seem to be doing well in regards to.
And I've looked at we looked at your scores, et cetera, and scores don't tell a lot, but the strategic plans that you guys had up, and this is like for any of the educators out there, were amazing because it was about educating the whole child
Yeah.
and caring.
Oh, that's
So,
nice. Yeah,
yeah.
you're going above me. I'm not an educator.
Yeah, and but that mattered because I told Bob, well, if they have such good schools. and
Which matters for the area.
Blue ribbon, it matters.
Nancy was the head of curriculum in her school district, and that was her job, taking care of the education part.
So if you're looking at
Person, so-
schools, it has
Yes.
schools. So
Good schools.
I mean, actually, the whole area. It doesn't matter what town you pick. Most of them in general.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're all perfect, but they're all decent throughout
Yeah.
the area for sure.
And we've met teachers. We have teachers as neighbors, and really impressive.
well, good.
Impressive, yeah.
Well, okay. Let's see. What else can we think of that's different? Food. Let's talk about food.
Food.
Uh-oh.
And we're talking Evansville, Owensboro,
Yeah.
like the area.
Well, you have everything that you need. If you want to go out to eat, you take a 30-minute drive. You know, in Chicago.
Well, it
you're
depends
gonna
on
take
where
an
you're
hour
living.
and a
If you're living,
half.
like looking at from Indiana. So from a Chicago standpoint, variety versus the Southern Indiana area.
Well, of course,
And
we're
obviously, Chicago's one of the best
we're
food
always.
places in the world.
I was gonna say we're always gonna kind of miss the Chicago Red Hots and
Chicago food.
Chicago pizza.
Oh yeah.
But
I don't blame
you know,
you. I love their deep
I've
dish
been,
up there.
you know, we've discovered Taste of Chicago, which they'll charge you like $200 for 2 pizzas.
Oh really?
If you really
They
want
ship
it, if you really want that old taste back, go ahead and fork out the bucks.
I like
Well, you
the-
can go to Tell City, they have it, but it's not going to be anywhere near what Chicago is. It's the closest you're going to get,
Well-
We
though.
saw Chicago pizza.
That is
Yeah.
probably the closest that I've found. Well, you know what? If you like the Detroit, you could go Pangea in Evansville.
Okay, let's
they
write
have a
that
Detroit
down.
pizza that's awesome, or if that's the closest to the Chicago.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
there you go. Some tidbits to find.
I like the hometown kind of mom and pop restaurants, though. They're
Yeah.
really good, Kara,
Yeah.
down here.
Yeah, well, there is a lot more of that. Even like Owensboro, I think, is very good
Yeah.
about not having chains and
Yeah, I like
and
that.
in spots of Evansville. Evansville has a lot of chains, but
Mm-hmm.
there is some spotty areas that they're very local flair and people owning
Yeah.
them, and I agree
Yeah.
with that 100%.
Yeah.
And then the small towns, yes, you're right. There's all kinds of
love
small
'em.
little restaurants
So
in
cute.
all the little towns.
And they're almost like little bistros. But remember, we came here out of COVID.
Yes.
So restaurants in
yeah.
Illinois were locked down tightly.
Oh, that's
and our
true.
son's in the restaurant business. So, you know, it was way different.
Yeah, Indiana handled it very differently. And honestly, since we're on the Kentucky border here in southern Indiana, we saw it just going over the
Yeah.
bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and Louisville, I mean, Louisville got hit pretty hard as well. Just
Yeah.
not being able to get into the restaurants.
And big
Yeah,
cities,
yeah.
so I can see that too. But even our small towns in Illinois, bless their hearts, they had to scurry and find ways to just do carry out. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's been bad. I mean, it's been, so we didn't do a lot of eating out since 2020
Yeah,
in Illinois because why bother? I mean, you couldn't.
Yeah.
And it was
So-
too scary, you know, the way they made you lock down. Someday we'll find out whether or not they were right or wrong to do it, but they did it
But
for
Illinois
a long
was-
time.
I
Illinois
agree.
was
You know,
really,
but,
really tough. In fact, when we...
Well, there was a lot of states that were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. But our perspective was Illinois. And when we built this home,
Yeah,
we were on really tight lockdown and they asked us not to travel and there were...
So you were doing
we
all
did-
this remote?
it was
did
all
it without
virtually
Not
saying
saying it
done.
as much.
We
Yeah.
We
did
met
it
our
all
builder the
remotely.
day we closed the house.
Yeah.
I mean, I
yeah.
talked to him on the phone maybe once a week,
Yeah.
and that was fine, but it was the funniest thing, because I mean, I in my job, I always did walkthroughs with our customers, and by then I'd seen them about 40 times, you know, and here
Which I'm
we pull up in the truck, I get out, and I'm like, are you Todd? Are
So
you Todd
can build
Kirsty?
you can build a house in southern Indiana
You could.
Just build it,
and
man.
never see it until you close.
Well-
all the people did,
But I mean, the
all
real
the partners
Yeah.
did FaceTime with
yeah, I was gonna
us.
say
Yeah.
you did some FaceTime. I knew
Oh,
that
yeah,
was
we
one of
did
the
a lot.
pictures and
Yeah, they did a lot.
And more importantly,
that's great. To
yeah,
hear.
we had a trim carpentry business, so it's kind of picky on work. And when we came in here, more importantly, I couldn't find a thing to complain about.
Oh well,
Almost
look at
makes
that.
you mad.
Oh,
No, really, I told the
Kirsty,
builder
you're
that.
getting a little check.
Well, they did such a fantastic job. I couldn't find anything wrong with this
And this is
house.
a builder analyzing a builder.
And we've been here 7 months, and you did a great job, fellas.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
well, they're
nice.
coming over to finish the basement.
Oh, that's fun.
But that's a difference too, though, Kara.
The building.
Yeah, the building. Just
So
the-
how's the different? I mean, that's something I never would have thought.
So,
I mean, that's he could definitely speak to
yeah,
that.
Well-
Illinois is a really legalistic when it
Yeah.
comes to building.
Well, their
so-
codes, their codes and their enforcements, and there's a lot of punitive things that they
Yeah.
tend to do to you
But
there.
homeowners aren't
And
generally
things are a little more
welcome.
laid back here, and I don't have a problem with it because nothing was done wrong.
Yeah.
But you know,
But
just
you didn't let homeowners just walk through your house whenever they wanted.
oh no,
because
no,
of the
People damaging.
and yeah,
Yeah.
and
yeah. But the laid back part is it's welcoming.
Yeah.
yeah. It's
I mean,
nice.
as a contractor at home where I came from, boy, if you did something that wasn't on a contract, you weren't going to go to the customer and say it's your problem.
Oh.
No, you weren't going to do that. It wasn't, you know, it didn't turn out that way.
Yeah.
And it's so laid back here that, you know,
it's pleasant.
it's like a
very
different
pleasant.
world and honest people.
Yeah.
I
It
guess.
comes down to just the.
You don't need a contractor, it doesn't seem like you do, because they're honest people.
Yeah.
And it takes a while to get used to because they're like, whoa.
Well, the
You know.
trust factor, like you're just like, what are you going to do to me, right?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
But
it's true.
so nice.
But
Yeah.
no, it's
I
friendly.
mean, I would say that about all businesses, not
Yeah,
just
that's
building,
what we're
but
seeing, too.
everybody's very trustworthy
Yeah.
of each other.
It goes with the friendliness theme. It really
Indiana
does.
is
so.
the Hoosier hospitality is
Yeah.
strong.
And you know, it's interesting, Kara, because we were all often in northern Indiana. There's a little difference.
Well, that could be true.
Yeah.
Southern Indiana may have a. I mean, they may think that
Well-
we're like these Southern Indiana, like Kentuckians.
Yeah, no.
Growing up in
Not at
Illinois
all.
my
But
whole
Northern
life,
Indiana is probably
Yeah,
different.
it's different. Well, it's a lot of city and
Yeah. Plus, it's
Yeah,
closer
it's
to
different.
Chicago, so it has that influx
Right, it
of
does.
stuff too.
and growing up in Illinois my whole life, the only place we actually went to was Michigan Dunes. And you went through Indiana, through Gary, and you went through
Yeah, oh,
Hammond.
yeah,
and not
beautiful
that you're a
place.
bad place, But I mean, and it wasn't, it's all industrial. And
Yeah,
it's not,
very
it's
industrial.
I'm sure
It's
it's
not.
nothing like down here. Well,
No.
I always tell all my friends that I grew up with, who were they'd all been retired. They had moved to Florida, they had moved to Arizona, and for 2 years straight, they're asking us, where are you going to go when you retire?
Yeah.
Like, well, finally we made up our mind last December when we decided to build a house, and they said, well, where are you going to go? I go, well, you know what? I can make up my mind. I'm going to southern Indiana.
And what did they say?
Couldn't
You're
have
crazy.
heard a pin drop. It was like, it was great. It
It's
really
a
was.
great retirement
So-
area if you're looking. And I actually do feel like, but I have some people that moved to Florida, and then I even know someone that's coming back this direction because they missed the Four Seasons. So it's a good, especially because of the weather.
Yeah.
I see why Southern Indiana, Tennessee. I mean, not just us, but
Right.
these,
Yeah.
these states, why they're popular.
And you don't have extremes in the weather. So
Yeah.
that's amazing. And the stuff there is to do for those of us that are retired, I mean, I'm not just retired, but
Yeah.
pickleball up at the end of our street.
Yeah,
and
everybody's just-
tennis,
yeah.
and I mean, there's just
People
so
get out
much
and want to be
do.
active, even
Yeah.
the older,
Beautiful.
all ages,
Yep.
really.
Everybody walks here.
Golf course is beautiful, it
Golf
seems.
course. Yeah.
And you got lots, like I said, not the state parks, national parks, all that's great
Oh,
throughout
we
Southern
love
Indiana.
that.
Yeah.
Lincoln was one of the first places we went when we first came down here.
Yeah,
It's
it's
gorgeous.
another hidden little treasure.
It's so family friendly too. We couldn't, that's different, just to see the kids out riding their bikes all the time. And you just know they're safe.
Well, people are,
You know they're safe.
feel it's a little bit more secure.
Yeah.
I agree with that. That's actually why I brought my kids back home. I got pregnant and I was in North Carolina, and back to Southern
Yeah.
Indiana I went.
Yeah.
And I was in a good area. I mean, Raleigh-Durham is a nice
Oh,
area.
I'll bet, yeah.
Absolutely.
But I just wanted to raise my kids like I was raised.
Yeah,
And
I can see
Sure.
I
that.
feel like things have changed. Don't get me wrong, internet's changed us all.
Right.
But
Yeah,
we'll keep them a little, younger as long as we can before we let them out in that world.
I understand that.
Yeah, and we love seeing kids out on the lake. When we're
Yeah.
out on the lake, the kids are
Yeah.
fishing, they're learning to ski. It's just such a great atmosphere
Yeah.
to raise kids.
I agree with that. So we got raising kids good, weather is good, cost of living is good,
It's
food
incredible.
food is not bad, but
Not
I mean,
bad.
if we're comparing Illinois, Illinois probably wins there, if I had to guess. At least
Yeah.
where you were,
Well,
not
we're-
all of Illinois.
We're willing to drive to it, so.
Yeah, they're willing
Yeah.
to drive, so
That's fine.
That's a good thing. Healthcare, which I love,
Healthcare is-
Oh, yeah.
is fabulous.
Yeah.
Commuting is good. Traffic, depending on what you're doing,
Yeah,
isn't
there's-
bad. So there's really
Yeah.
not a lot of negatives. Can you think of
there's
one
not-
negative? I want a negative. Come on,
You want a
think of one
negative?
negative
Well,
here.
Well, I'm not used
can't
to,
all
I'm
be
not used to
biased.
paying excise taxes on my vehicles.
Okay, there you go. We got a negative.
No, it seems like if you have a new car, you really get nailed. We have a new boat. I have a brand new boat I
yeah.
purchased before I
See,
came
we gotta
down
be
here.
real to
And I got
watch
way,
it.
I got waylaid.
Yeah, there has to be negatives. We're not all
So
fabulous.
if you want one, you got one there.
But if you compared Illinois, they're equal.
Yeah.
We didn't pay more. It's
Yeah.
just a different way of paying it, and it's called an excise tax.
Yeah, that's
So-
true. Yeah, because you pay a lot of money. Your licenses are like $240 a month. $240 a year, and
Yeah.
you still pay a lot for
Yeah.
your vehicles. But yeah, it's kind of a juggle.
We
Yeah.
were that precise. Of
Yeah.
Where are we going to move?
and the
it
cost of
was
living and everything.
Yeah.
10% easily less to live here.
Oh, easily
overall.
10 to 12%
Really?
overall.
Yeah, you were
Yeah.
that. But that's interesting.
And it
Yeah,
was,
10%.
it was over tens of $1,000 to $12,000 a year
Yeah.
Yep.
just from moving. I mean,
So no other negatives. Well, I
No
love that.
negatives.
I picked the right place to grow up and come back to.
We had a ball this summer too with all the orchards. I didn't realize that we were in an orchard area.
I mean, there is an orchard, but I can't say that I go to them all. But you're
So-
talking like by Louisville. Actually, there's a lot of them.
we've gone to
Reeds.
Owensboro.
Yeah, they have. Oh, there's. I
Yeah.
do have a good one. I guess I do know the orchard.
There's a little farm at the
you're
end
right.
outside of Lamar. That's
Yeah, that-
adorable. More up towards Vincennes.
you've been
Yeah.
around.
Yeah,
You've
we've been
been to.
around.
Have you been up towards Louisville? They have orchards that direction.
We have been out towards Louisville, but it's on our spring list.
Okay, so they'll get there.
And we've been to Louisville before, before
Where did we
moved
get
here.
where did we get the wine slush at that
Oh,
time?
yeah.
We were.
Wine slushies.
They love wine slushes. So that,
Well,
I had to laugh.
I
The
don't drink
slush.
wine, and I was like, whoa, this is good. Where were we that
So
time?
we're not in California, but we get wine slushes.
Yeah.
That tells you Southern Indiana.
Oh,
for
yeah.
you, all right?
We were like, what? What is that?
I'm sure it was
That
aged
so
well.
funny.
Yeah. And that's interesting because I do enjoy a nice glass of wine, and that's been the hardest thing.
Yeah, we didn't
is
get it. We
finding-
messed up. We didn't get our drink this time. Next time.
Should have.
We should have had a wine slush.
But that's not a big deal, but that's been tricky to find your favorite.
But it's fun to explore. I mean,
Yeah,
these
it
places
is.
are out in Nowheresville. And then
Oh, there really is.
all of a sudden it pops up, there's music,
Yeah.
ton of people.
bands. So many.
Wow.
Where did that come from?
Yeah,
And then they ask you, come sit at our table and
yeah.
meet new
It
friends.
was a one-way road. I'm like, how do we get out? They go, well, just be patient. It was great.
It's adorable.
But,
Yeah, I
Well,
like
that's
it.
fun. I'm
We
glad
really-
you're out exploring.
We're out exploring. Life has slowed down.
Yeah.
Life has slowed down a lot for us, and not because of retirement, but because of the area.
Yeah.
There's less stress, less everything that can make your life hectic. So
Yeah.
that's been nice too.
So it has all around good things. Not too
It
many
does.
negatives. I'm sure there's some negatives. They just can't think of them right now.
Yeah.
But if you
Yeah.
have that question and you're watching this channel and you have something, let us know because there could be something that could pop up that we didn't think of. So I can't think of anything else. I think we
can't
did
either.
a full spectrum of
Yeah.
different things.
I
we
think.
did.
Yep.
Well, I
We're happy.
really appreciate you guys doing this. I think everybody really liked the California versus Indiana.
Yeah,
and
that
it's
was-
good to hear from people that
Yeah.
really lived in both.
Yeah.
And so now we're doing the
Yeah.
Illinois versus Indiana, which is a little bit more competitive because we're neighbors.
Yeah, and Northern Illinois is different than
No, that's
Central
true too.
Illinois.
So I might need to get a Southern Indiana or Southern Illinois
you
person.
would, or a Central
Yeah, I would
Illinois
agree
because
with
we're
that.
different. We're big cities. I mean, our town was a big city.
Yeah,
Yeah.
our suburbs are,
Just huge.
Every
So-
town's huge.
So ours was a little more.
So it should
Yeah.
be more like Chicago versus Southern Indiana.
It almost is.
Oh, it is. There's a joke in
I think
Illinois.
that's
There's a joke in
I'm gonna be
Illinois.
the topic: Chicago versus
Well-
Southern
Yeah.
Indiana.
The joke in Illinois is who's the governor? Who's your
Hoosier.
Hoosier.
No,
Who's your
it's-
daddy?
Chicago runs Illinois. They're so big. So
Yeah, it does.
Oh, that's
And
funny.
rightfully so.
yeah.
Well, thank you very
Thanks,
much
Kara.
for the interview. And if you are watching, we do these videos every week, right? She
Yes,
is my biggest
I am.
watcher.
I've learned
I
so
love her.
much.
She always likes my stuff. So
That's how I learned
make
about
sure you
Kara.
like it, subscribe,
Yeah,
because
hit that button.
I'm always doing. You never know what I'm going to do you?
Nope,
It just
nope.
pops up that week. And there you go. It's what Kara's doing, or whoever on the team, because we all do them. So thank you guys
Thanks,
again
Kara.
for the
Thanks for
interview,
coming by.
and
Thank you.
thank you guys for watching. Until next time, see you then.